Okay. So again, if you do have any questions during the demo, go ahead and put them in the chat, and Georgia will answer those as we go by. And then if she feels like there's anything that needs to be addressed by me out loud, we can do that. So what I'm going to start off with is showing you what, of course, D2L looks like now. Um, so the nav bar, the announcements, the calendar, this is all actually at the My Home level. This is where I'll show you. So you can see the announcements, instructor resources, my courses, and the reason I'm showing this is to compare it to what you will see on May 11th so that you do realize that there are changes, but not any changes that should freak us out greatly. So let me go to the home page or the My Home for Brightspace. Okay, so after May 11th, this is what your My Home, your landing page will look like. So when you log in, this is what you will see. If you compare it to the previous screen, to what we see now, even if you have like your D2L open right now on your computer, you can see that everything is pretty much the same. So you'll still see the My Home icon here, our logo. You'll see the mini nav bar with message alerts, subscription alerts, update alerts. You'll still be able to see notifications, account settings. So all of this at the top will remain the same, as well as this. So this will still have the same menu that it did in the before May 11th. So the big change here is how the My Courses are laid out. So now it's course tiles and they come with an image. Your course will usually be, not usually, but it will be assigned a random image, which you can later change, and I'll go through that in a little bit. So you can see that announcements and My Courses did flip. So announcements was on the left previously, and now it's on the right. My Courses was on the right, and now it's on the left. The link to the instructor resources is at the bottom. So you'll find that at the bottom instead of at the top, like we do see it now. So that's no longer a widget, it's at the bottom. Let's see, so the course selector grid is actually something that I skipped on purpose. This will change a little, so you'll be able to, and I mean, again, the functionality won't change, but the look, the font, the size of the title of your courses will change a little, but this will stay the same. You do have this, it just doesn't look like a grid. In the previous course, it looks like select a course. And but again, maybe the location of it changed and might have changed a little, but not anything big. So let's see. So this is how your courses will be laid out, right? So let's talk a little about the organization of your course tiles. If you do, so I currently have 4 right now. So my instructor demo is currently only enrolled in 4 courses. So the order of the courses is pinned at the top. So these are pinned. Then the most recent enrollments to continue. It is date driven. You can see that they do have messages on them. So the course tiles do have messages on them. So now you'll see if your course is inactive or not. You'll be able to see it here. So it's pretty, it's supposed to be better organization. So the opens on is actually the date the course starts. So you'll be able to also see that. So again, the organization is date driven instead of what we saw before, which was pretty much term driven. I mean, also date driven, I guess, but it was pretty much laid out in terms. So if you do have more than 50 courses, which I think some of you do if you're like in an admin type of level of access in D2L, the pinned will be at the top and then it'll be the most recently accessed, so they won't be date driven. I don't know if there's any questions on that so far. Um, so I guess I could move on to the how we can search for courses and sort them and so forth. So I will also show you how I pinned the courses, which is important. I always like to have my most recent courses at the top, but there's also some courses like Placebases or development sites that I do want to have at the top, so I'll pin those, especially if I have more than 50. So this one's already pinned. I'll go ahead and unpin it so that you can see that I do have the option to pin it just by clicking on the pin tab here. And then it'll also give me the option to pin by using this. So if we click on the three little dots here, you'll get these three options. So you'll get course offering information, which is easy to access now. Before we had to go to course admin, course offering information. So this is where you can make changes to the name of the course and make your course active or inactive. To change the image of the course, so if you want to change this banner, which will also show on your course landing page, and I'll show you guys that in a minute, you can change it by using this. You can also, again, pin your course. So if you click on this, it'll pin it for you, and then it'll show you the whole pin icon, which is kind of nice, because then this course will remain at the top. So I'm also going to pin this one just for consistency, because I want those two at the top. So anyway, let's go ahead and click on the course offering information here, and I'll show you what I was talking about in a little. So again, if I click on the course offering information, I skip a few steps, right? So I don't have to go to course admin, course offering information anymore to make my course active or to change the name of my course. So I'll go ahead and change the name of the course here, training demonstration, if I wanted to, and then I could also make my course active. I don't want to do that, but I can if I want to. Let me save this here. So somebody's asking what pinning means. So let me go back to the My Home. So pinning means that you'll by clicking on the pin, it just means that you'll have the course at the top of the courses. So like the order of you're kind of defining the order of your courses. So if you pin the course, it'll stay at the top. If you unpin it and refresh, it'll get mixed up somewhere down at the bottom. So this is important if you have more than 50 courses, or if you want to get out of like the whole like date-driven organization that D2L does for you. So you would just pin it and it would kind of stay at the top. So this isn't important. I'm sorry, this isn't important. This isn't new. So you were able to pin courses before, but since the organization of the courses did change and you will no longer have columns that define what term this falls into, the pinning will be kind of your best friend. So someone asked if they can import their own images. Yes, they can. So let me move on to the images if that's the last question with pinning. So if I click on the three dots here, I also have the option to, again, change the image. So if I click on that, I'll have the option to search for an image that's already in the D2L database. So they have a whole bunch of images that you can choose from, but you also have the option to upload an image. So if you click upload, you go to the course offering information, and under course image, you get the option to browse, and you can either select from your course offering files if you have anything in your managed files, or you can click on my computer and simply upload an image. So yes, you can import your own images. So then you would just save. Oh, sorry. Let's go back to My Home. Okay, perfect. So Are there specific images that we have to use, or can we import an image? Okay, so I think I got that question. Okay, so if we click on the three dots again, the last option is Unpin Pin. So if this course is over, I don't want it at the top anymore, I would simply unpin it, and it would just go back to like that date-driven organization, or the course there, it would get buried into like the courses that I last accessed. So any questions on the My Home? I think I covered all of the changes that will be happening there. And it looks like Lori Martin is typing, so I'll wait for her, and then we'll move on to the actual course site. How will we find old courses if we want to import content? Oh, right. Okay, sorry. Yeah, I totally skipped that. So I was going to talk about searching with filters and sorting and stuff. Okay, so apologies. So if you click on the View All Courses here at the bottom, so it will always be at the bottom. So even if you have 12 course sites, you'll have to scroll, and you'll always find this View All Courses at the bottom. So if I click on it, it'll give me the Find a Course, and it'll also give me the option to filter by term, by department, or by roles. So if I want to find the courses where I've been listed as instructor in, or TA, or student, I can also search by department if I'm teaching across departments, and I can search by term. So if I want to find a 2018 non-term or a summer course or something like that, I'd search by the term. So this is how you would search. You can also search for the course. So you can do D2L, and it would bring up the course for you. So by clicking on the View All Courses, you would be able to search for the course using filters or sorting. Does that answer your question, Lori? Okay, perfect. So I'll go ahead and get out of here now, and I will go to the actual D2L course site, and let me go to it here. So let's go to it and see what it looks like now. So this is what your course sites look like now, pretty much. This is the default nav bar, the default course home, but this is what it pretty much looks like. And this is what it'll look like next, after May 11th. So you can see that there's not a big difference except for the visual stuff. Announcements is still on the left, calendar on the right, the nav bar is still the same. My course name is still up here, course home, I can still get back to it through there, and my mini nav bar is still here. So it still looks the same, except for now I have a banner. And with the banner comes this three dots, and these three dots. So now for those folks who edit their nav bar, you can now simply do it by clicking on the three dots here. So if you do customize this nav bar, you get the option to copy the nav bar and make changes to it as needed. It's a little slower since we're in a test platform, but so now it makes it easier. So now this looks a little different, but the functionality is the same if you're editing a nav bar now. So you get to do all of this. So you get to change the title in the nav bar. You get to, get rid of quizzes if I wanted to, get rid of library tools if I wanted to, etc. So I just save and close, and that would change my navigation bar, which I don't want to do right now. But you also get the option to manage all your course nav bars. So you get to see all of the navigation courses that you have right here if you've been creating custom ones or want to use one that's created by default by our department. So I'm going to go back to course home here. So again, the announcements is still the same, calendar is still in the same place, so the widgets didn't change. So lastly is the banner within the course site, right? So at the My Home level, you can change the image of the course, but you can also change it once you're already inside the course. So by clicking on the three little dots here, you get to either remove this banner. So if you do not want to use an image in the landing page on your course site, you can remove it. So you would remove this banner. And then you can also change the image through here. Again, you get the option to search for an image. So let's just say we want an education image. You know, liking this composition book, let's use it. It would change it for us. Very simple. If you want to use your own image, you'd simply upload from, again, your managed files or your computer. If you have anything in your locker, stuff like that, you get to do that, but that's a little advanced. So let me go back to course home. So if I didn't want to use an image, we can remove this image and it would take the banner off. So like, let me refresh. No more banner. So it's kind of up to you if you want to use a banner or not. To get the banner back, we'd have to go to course admin, course offering information, and display the image. So reset it back. I think it'll put it back. Yeah, there we go. So it's back. So a few steps if you do get rid of the image, but again, you can if you want it to look different. Okay, so I will go back to my home. If anybody has any more questions, please feel free. But actually, I'll show you one more thing. Since we're already in here and we did get through this pretty quickly, I'm going to go back to the course site and I'm going to go to content in the new Brightspace environment, and then I'm going to go to content in what we see now, and you can see the difference. Actually, I think I pulled something up here. Perfect. So let me go to content here, go to content here, and you can see not a lot of stuff changed. So like the modules are still the same. The organization of this did change a little bit just because they're trying to be as accessible as possible, so or responsive as possible. So since the window is closing a little, it's making it so that we can see the entire thing on one window and don't have to keep scrolling. So let me go to discussions, for example. You'll see nothing changed here. Pretty much all of the options, everything is still the same, just looks different. Blue buttons, larger font. Let me go to assignments. You'll see nothing changed here. Just, again, the color, larger font. And go to grades, which is always good. Okay, so you'll see here we have the same number of grade items. Nothing changed. Still enter grades, manage grades, settings help. So all of the functionality stayed. Just a little redesign. So if I click on here, I still get the same options, edit grade item, enter grades, etc. Let me go to quizzes. You can see nothing changed here. So it looks different, but if you take a very, very close look, you'll see everything is pretty much in the same place and working the same. So with that, we'll go ahead and take some more questions if you have them now. Just a reminder to type them in the chat box, which some of you have already been doing. And if you prefer to use the mic, let me know and I can turn that on for you guys. So yes, the image can be changed as often as you like. So if you want to change it once a week, in accordance to whatever you're teaching that week, you can, stuff like that. How will this change the way the course is viewed on mobile device? So so we'll be fully mobile now. So there won't be an app, but if the student goes on their browser on their phone, they will be able to see absolutely everything. And the screen and the text and everything will adapt to a phone. So let's just say this is a phone, and of course the screen is a lot smaller. You can see that it doesn't cut anything off. So it just makes it as small as it can in order for everything to show on one page. I don't know if that answers your question. Um, I think we do have something that shows the mobile experience. We probably get that to you if you contact us through email and ask us for that. Beautiful baby. It is beautiful. Yeah, it looks a lot more modern now. Just thinking how videos and images will play out. You mean on mobile, Katrina? Is that what you're saying? Yeah, so images will be fine. Videos, as always, they should be playing specifically in Panopto. Um, there shouldn't be an issue with those. Yeah, and of course they'll resize to fit the screen, but they should still be playing as they do now. Okay, so you just wanted to see if they'd fit the screen. That makes sense. Yeah, thanks, Georgia, for answering that for Katrina. Um, I, so we still have a few more minutes. I'm sorry, I can take more questions and I can demonstrate more if anybody wants to see more. Is there a place where we can go and play with this site? If you contact us, we can probably set up a place for you to play. We do have a test environment. It's really slow and yeah. Go ahead and contact us and we'll be able to set you up in a development space. Sure. Okay, so if there aren't any more questions, I think we can. So it looks like Laurie is typing a question. Oh, yeah, thank you, Laurie. Thank you for attending the webinar. We'll have more info to come as we get closer to the date. And again, if you have any questions, I did put a pod up and with a note with our contact information on the meeting room, so you'll see that right above or right beneath our Georgia and I's pictures. So thanks, George. Bonnie, thank you, everyone. We'll be hearing from you guys soon. If you have any questions, we'll be here. Bye, Kathy, Kim.